Hello and welcome to another episode of Two Labs Garage. Some people like myself, when we go to work, we drive an older car. And when we have our nicer weekend stuff. Nonetheless, the thing that you drive to work in, you still want to be comfortable, still need to be reliable. For me, it just so happens to be this 300 and some odd thousand mile 2001 Pontiac Grand AM. And it needs new seats. So like I said, Grand AM needs new seats. It's currently on its second driver's seat. And what I did there was I went to the junkyard, found another Grand AM that had a good seat, took the seat out of it, put it in, direct swap, nothing to it. The problem is, and this may be what you're experiencing, you go to the junkyard, these are starting to disappear. And the ones that are in there, the seats are no better than what you already got. So what I'm doing is I'm taking, I can't remember if it was a 2015 or 2016 Chevy Aveo. I'm going to use the seats from that in the Grand AM. So let's get busy. This isn't going to be a direct bolt in, but nonetheless, I'm confident we can make it work. I have done seat mismatches before and go do it again. Alright, this is what I'm currently working with. This is the second seat. Passengers is original. Excuse some mess. I'm going to have to get in here and clean that in a minute. But yeah, see, you're sitting here. You got this on your back. Over here, you can actually see right there. That's the other bar. So the padding's shot. Alright, right here we got another bar that's pretty well exposed. It may not peek through the fabric, but there's no padding on it. And then right here, the padding's pretty much gone from that too. I can really feel that pad in my back, so. The second seat is shot. As for the bottom, right there, the padding's pretty much completely gone from the support bar. Up in here's fine, and over there's fine. But yeah, we got a lot of spots on the seat. It's just worn out. Well, I know this isn't a Grand AM. This is a Chevy Aveo. But look at these seats. These things are nice. Got a little bird poo right there, but I'll clean up. But these, I don't even know why this car's in here. This is a nice car. Or was. I mean, it's not so much now, but I think those seats will work in the Grand AM. Why? Runs, drives good. Not very high mileage. I swear I think some people are just stupid. This could have been a nice car for somebody, but I think my seats will do nice in my Grand AM. Alright, so I got all the bolts out. Worth its weight in gold. I used a 1/2 inch because I didn't have any metric impacts with me, but I'm thinking it's supposed to be metric. But I'll show you another thing I always look for when I get a junkyard seat is manual seats, because you can move them, get to the track easy. I have done electric seats before, but they're a little bit of a pain. So anyway, let's get these out. And here's the Chevy Aveo seat. Now, yeah, we're a little dirty, but I'll clean all that up. That's not hard to do. I want to go ahead and get this in because we got weather coming. So if I have to clean it later because of dirty tennis balls or whatever, no big deal. Nelly, do you like this? Alright, so to take seats out of a Grand AM, it's not that hard, but there's a technique to it. First things first, you want to get in probably the back seat, and there's some tabs right here by the headrest. You don't want to remove the headrest. Next, we've got a couple Torx bolts in the floor. We've got some Torx bolts, one there and one there. Now you gotta take a Torx bit and take them out. I think they're a T50, but I'll find out for sure in a minute. But yeah, they gotta come out. Of course, you're going to have to slide the seats forward some to expose them. I also say, starting on the passenger side. Why the passenger side? Well, even though I've done seat replacements before that were not direct swaps, you typically run into some kind of issue. And if this turns out to be more of a long, drawn out issue, I still gotta go work on Monday. So if this seat's out, I'll still drive to work. And also, you learn from this side. So anyway, go get the torque stuff and take this seat out. Alright, so I got my Torx bit set. I'm praying it's not a T55 because that's where it belongs. But I really think it's a T50. Yep, it is. And just gonna put my ratchet on it, set it to loosen, and Jiminy Moses! There it goes. Now, the part that I'm going to have to refresh my own memory on, how to get this booger out. I got an idea, because I did this, but it's also been 7 years, so let's get it out. Alright, first of all, scooch it back, lean it forward, and then from the back, lift up and forward. Once you get almost to the windshield, you're going to lift straight up and just work it out the door. As soon as you can rotate it down, do that. Now the passenger seat, I do plan on saving this and reusing it for something else in the future. I got a pretty good plan for it, but that's another episode for another time. It's a minor difference on the driver's side. We have right here a connection, which is a wire that goes to the seatbelt light that you see on the dash. That's what that is. There's a second wire coming up here. This is the power supply for power seats, which this car does not have, but they just have it wired for that regardless. So yeah, you're gonna have to disconnect that. All right, future me interjecting here. Embarrassment. After I had 3 of the 4 bolts on the seat end, I decided I'd try the seat belt. Yeah, they're not compatible, so I'm gonna have to bring the latches off the whole seat onto this one. So you have to take a Phillips head, take this piece of plastic off, and there's a nut under there. I'm gonna take that off and then figure out the whole seat how to get that one off. So here we go. Is there another one? Alright, no. Alright. That looks to me like a 5/8. Go get me a wrench and take this off. Alright, so I was incorrect. It is 11/16. Also, it's probably some metric thing, nice round number, but whatever. Right, that came off fairly easily. Now, to go dig up the old seat, go ahead and put it in the trash, and get the seatbelt equipment off that one, and transfer it over. Alright, so for the Grand AM, this is the driver's seat I got out, but just to show you, both sides are pretty much the same. To get the seatbelt latch, got a 1/2-inch bolt right there, and just go, and literally that's all it takes to remove it. But you're going to want to keep this bolt because that's just the one that works better than the Aveo one. And we're going to take this, we're going to mount it to the replacement seat. Alright, so I removed the bolt to the Aveo seat. It was right there. And I got the one off the Grand AM, simple hex bolt, just pull it out. Here's the issue. Aveo buckle, Grand AM buckle. Quite a bit difference in length. And I'm a big fella, I don't mind having some extra length on these, makes it a little easier, but this, that's just straight redonkulous. I don't need that much. So what, I looked at several options, and down here there's a brace that goes from side to side of the seat frame. It's bolted here, but it's got like a little stabilizer there. Now, full disclosure, again, altering safety stuff, maybe not the thing to do. I'm doing this at my own peril. I waller that, didn't take much to waller it out, so a bolt will go in there. And I considered just putting a brand new grade 8 in there, but there's like some stepping and all that hockey that goes on. So, I'm actually going to use the stock Grand AM bolt, which I'm going to have to get, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Alright, so there we go. I have got the seat belt reinstalled. I'm going to put that plastic cover back on, and we should be able to rock and roll after this. Alright, so I got the cover back on. That's the stop screw. This one, just from the way the seat was, and I put the seat belt, it pushed it out a little bit, so to draw it in I had to use a different screw. That's just an 1.25" deck screw. And then on top here, this seat belt thing right here is wider than you can see where the stock one is, so I had to trim a little bit with my grinder. Should not have trimmed that way, but it's not a big deal, and all this will be hidden by the console, so I'm really not that worried about it. But yeah, do a better job than I did here. Alright, so here's the Aveo passenger seat, getting ready to go in. Being that for the Grand AM seats I had to take the headrest off. Get up. I'm going to take that. I'm just going to set that aside. And also, yeah, I'm going to get my upholstery cleaner out in a little while, hopefully, and clean this up. I'm going to vacuum it before I put it in. And now I'm going to carefully load it in the car. They should work, but we'll see. And there you go. Of course, right now it's just sitting there. No bolting, no fitment really has been done. It's just sitting in there. And looks pretty good. The back's definitely a little taller, but the height's about the same. It fits nicely side to side. So yeah, I think the Aveo seats are a good combination. But we're now just going to have to figure out how to get this all to bolt in. Alright, so overall I think the thing fits pretty well in here, but I do see a few things I'm not entirely happy with. The backs, I got a pretty good game plan in my head of how I'm going to do this. I'm still ironing some of the kinks out, but I think I pretty well got this. The front, this tab is pushing it down a little bit. I want it to be a little flatter. So what I'm going to do, or at least attempt to, is just... Alright, that looked like I actually did it. Another thing I want to say, to try to keep the seat tracks even. What I do right now, I'm doing it with the seat position all the way back. Hopefully that will... Alright, yeah, so that's not bad. So anyway, I'm just going around taking various measurements, figure out how I'm going to mount this thing. And folks, I'm going to remind you again, I am not a professional, not a trained mechanic. I'm not claiming that this is DOT approved. I'm not claiming that your state inspector is going to approve. And I'm not going to tell you that this is safe. Not going to tell you it's safe or unsafe, but if you please understand you're doing this at your own peril. I have confidence in my abilities that what I'm doing is okay for me, but you and your family and all, just be warned. If something goes wrong, I've warned you, this is not. I'm just showing you how I solve a problem. Like I said, I'm not telling you to do it, and I'm not claiming any kind of, I don't know, safety, liability, nothing. This is, you're on your own on this one. I'm just showing you how I did it. So, alright, so I just got back from Tractor Supply. Went and picked up some supplies to mount this seat in. Most everything I got, or I'm going to need, I should say, came from there. There is one thing that's just my existing stock, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Well, first things I need to do is get the seat in. Also, when you do the driver's seat, make sure you plug the seatbelt thing back in. Alright, so this is what we're looking like down here. Got the hole in the floor and the hole in the seat, which is vertical. Horizontal hole, vertical hole. So I got this bracket, this L bracket from Tractor Supply, and this is really thick metal. This is not some chintzy mess. So anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt this to that, get them bolted together. The little bit excess length up there, probably not going to be a problem, but it's also going to raise that seat up just a hair. So I'm sure that top won't be a problem. I may even be able to utilize both holes. That'd be nice, but I don't know. And also, I'm just going to tell you, I think this is probably the most critical point to do the seat, because that is where the seat belt secures in. So really, I want to keep safety in mind, even though I'm doing a hack job. Alright, so meanwhile, back at the vise, here's my bracket, and need to make that hole just a little bigger. This is the stock seat bolt that'll go in the floor. So go grab me a electric drill and something to waller that out with. Huh. Well, you know, this electric drill already had a Christmas tree bit in it. Tighten up. See how that did us. Perfect. Now the other side. Alright, and quick word about bolts. I'm not skimping. I'm using grade 8s on this because, again, safety. They cost more, but they're a lot stronger. Didn't feel like it needed much. Perfect. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, flip the seat a little bit more. I'm going to take that bracket I just modified and run this, I believe that's a 1/2 inch bolt, through there. Got a lock nut. It's also grade AV, even though it's black. I don't know why Tractor Supply has them that way, but they do. So yeah, just take that nylon bolt. I'm going to try to show you the best I can while I'm juggling everything. Tighten her up. Now, gonna bolt it to the floor. Got the factory bolt here. Gonna scooch the seat back around some. Run that through there. Find the factory threaded hole for it. Jeez Louise. Now, go tighten it up. You know what? That seat's all the way back. If I scoot it forward, that'd make it easier, won't it? Oh yeah! Why didn't I think of that sooner? Alright. Alright, updates. My steel triangles I made, yeah, they're not going to work. But we do have that one bolted in. And I took a 3-inch pipe nipple, cut it in half an inch and a half, perfect spacer. So I'm going to get ready to drill a hole down there. But as I was cutting that spacer, a front came through. Winds picked up to probably about 20 miles an hour. And yeah, it started snowing. And since I have to work on this outside, that is going to shut me down for the night. But we're on the right track. We got the back part of the seat done, or at least know what we're going to do. I'll go take advantage of this opportunity to paint this nipple, and the other half will be for the other side where my dog's sleeping. And like I said, we still got use of a car because I only did one side. So anyway, wanted to keep going, but not a big deal. We'll finish it. Alright, so one of the things I'm going to want to do right now is, hard to see, but that's the bolt hole. I'm going to want to make sure that we have no interferences when I put the hole in. And by that I mean exhaust pipes, fuel lines, wires, stuff like that, brake lines. We don't want to put a hole in any of that, so let's check that first. Grab a tape measure, or actually I see a ruler of all things. Ruler is not my go-to tool, but it's good for this. Alright, it's 8 inches from right there, double check, to the center of the hole. So now, I'm going to take my nice coat off, because I don't want to mess it up. And yeah, it's only 34 degrees right now, so I'm going to want that back on in a hurry. But I'm going to lay on the ground here. And well, over here, there's absolutely nothing even close to this vicinity, but just 8 inches check. There is a body pinch weld at 7, so it'll be just inside that. That might be something I'm going to have to deal with here in a minute. Alright, so everything's positioned, and because this hole's way down there, with the seat and the curve and all, I got a pretty long bit on my drill. It's not big enough around, but that's fine. I can enlarge it after the fact. But now, hope you can see this. Looks like just the right drill. Split you at number 2. That went pretty easy. Oh yeah, that's not bad. And because it's not a little bit of mine, I'm going to reverse it out. Alright. Now I can tell you, the bolts I got to go in the back of the seats, since I miscalculated, yeah, they're way too long. I might have to go get more, but let me just see what I got. I might have something in stock I can use. Alright, and finish the hole size, I'm going to come up from the bottom, because I got good access. I'm going to use this 3/8 bit in a right angle drill. And I'll tell you, this little drill here, I mean, I've had it 22 years now. You can tell it's not used the most, but this little thing has saved my butt on many occasions just because it's so small. And you don't have access, you don't have access, you know? It's the only way I could get a drill up under here. This little thing's bad. I love it. Now, like Like I said, I already know my bolts are too long, but I'm going to take one of these, poke it through the hole, and find out just how much too long it is. Yeah, see, I wish this was all thread, because then I could do it and just go zing zing, cut it off where I need it, but it's not. Anyway, while I got it under there, I'm going to run grab my Sharpie, mark the shaft of that bolt, pull it up, and then I'll know exactly what size. And if you're putting Aveo seats in a Grand AM, you'll know what size and you won't have to go through all this. Alright, length is marked. Now I got to measure it and see what I got around, or hate to say it, may have to go back to the old Tractor Supply and get me a new one. I don't want to do that. I may have to use this one somewhere else. But let me just go see what 3/8 I got in stock, and hopefully I got something. I'll need one that yay long, because that's where the bottom of the car is. I need threads that, yeah, do all that. Alright, got a little good news. I like good news. I went in the garage and looked, and not where it belonged at all, sitting on top of the freezer actually, there was a couple grade 8 bolts. Grade 8 bolts, and these are 3 inches, which are just a tick long, but I also got to put a washer on this, so really no problem. You could do a 2.5, it'd be just fine. So 2.5 or 3-inch washers or bolts will work. Now I made sure I did stick my spacer in there, which I see falling out. But anyway, just kind of drop the bolt in the hole in the track, and here's my little piece of iron pipe I trimmed to act as a spacer. I trimmed a little more off this side just because it's on an angle. I put some black paint on it. Now, I shouldn't have put that bolt there, I don't think. Alright, got that in. Now, I gotta drop that bolt back in. Alright, so we got that through. That's a good step. Alright, so when the car is built, there's an area in the floorboard bolstered for the seat to bolt into. That's why when I can, I like to try to use the factory holes, and I was able to use one. But yeah, it's up to me for my safety to bolster everything in. And this is how I'm doing it. Again, none of this is Department of Highway Safety Transportation Committee. It's not certified. But I take this big, large fender washer. Couldn't get these in grade 8. I wish I could. And then a grade 8 regular washer. Go put them in like that. Slide them up over the bolt shaft. And then I'm going to put this locking nut on there. Grade 8 again. Alright, so I got it hand tightened. Now I'm going to get a wrench and see if I can't find my little battery powered ratchet. Go zzz and get it all together. Oh, you like that, do you, Nellie? She liked that noise I made. So I'll throw the ball. I love that dog, but she is crazy. Alright, so now let's stick a wrench under there. 9/16. Get it on the nut. I'm going to take a 9/16 impact from the top, and we got the back bolted in. Now one thing it's optional, but I'll probably do it. Maybe. Is there some bolts sticking out under there? I'll take a picture. You can take a grinder or a sawzall and zing it off. but it's not protruding below the inner floor pan and the pinch wheels here, so I'll probably leave it, but like I said, get y'all a picture. And this will I'll talk about up underneath. See that extra bit sticking out? That's a little, well, extra, but I don't think it'll hurt anything. All right, so this is the next hole I'm gonna have to drill here. That's gonna be a little tricky, and also I tell you, I tried to set up a stationary camera, but I just could not get a line of sight, and I couldn't find another way to try to get you one. So anyway, being as I need my hands for the camera, I'm gonna drill that hole and I'll come back. All right, so that one's in. Exact same method I used the first time. All right, so the fourth and final bolt that's on the console side, I went ahead and drilled that off camera. And that was a little more challenging. There's like an inner floor and all that. And when I got through, I did hit the heat shield on the catalytic converter. Did not do any damage, but I did hit the heat shield. So you definitely want to be careful, and you definitely want to work on this after you've been driving for a minute. Also, help this thing sit level a little bit. I did put a 1/2-inch nut over top the 3/8 bolt, and that, as you can imagine, that's just a spacer. You have a sell spacers, but nuts are cheaper. Anyway, that's the setup I got on this side. All right, so when it's a good ways inside the car and you can't reach around both sides and you don't have anybody to help you, I'll show you a little tip I've learned over the years. Try to hold on to the phone and do this at the same time. Lock a vice grip on there. I hope I got it locked tight enough. It might not be, but vice grip's a great tool for when you need two sets of hands. Pretty handy tool. I don't know if it's the best tool ever made. Some people would argue that, but they're pretty handy. All right, so there's that bolt all tightened up, drawn down. Also, figure I'd show you what a difference that's made. Yeah, I do need to come back and shampoo the seats good, and my dog has not wasted any time shedding on them. So yeah, just get them cleaned up and we really got something going on here. Yeah, I wish I'd cleaned it, because right now, yeah, it's below freezing. And that means that the slurry in the tank of the carpet cleaner won't work. Anyway, we do have this glaring thing, and it bothers me. It may not bother other people, but it does me. But where the old seat went in, those spots are exposed. And there's a few ways you could go about fixing that. You can just take some of the carpet that's under the center of the seat, since nobody will ever see it, cut that, move it. You could go buy some, and I'll show you a little bit about that. You can actually get these samples right here from Lowe's. I don't really know what they cost. They have various colors. They can't be much. Or you can go and find these little narrow rolls, and in the back they got gray. And just get a foot of that and patch in and fill in your carpet areas. Or, I just so happen to have some left over from another project. That. And by the way, if you want to see how I put an F-150 seat in a Dodge truck, I have a video for that. And also on the old seat, there's some carpet here. If I wanted to, I could cut that off and use it, since that's going in the trash. All right, so it's not exact, but it's good. And you can even take a tape measure and get the piece of carpet right. Or you can do like I'm doing and just kind of look at it and be like, yep, that's good. All right, so here is my piece of carpet that size of the palm of my hand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this original super glue fits all adhesive. Stuff's actually pretty good, and it comes from the dollar store, so that's what I'm using. I'm a big fan of E6000, but I'm going to tell you, this stuff, not bad. So just go put some right there, cap it, and now I'm just going to wiggle this up under the carpet. All right, so there we go. Perfect? No, but yeah, that's not bad. And as it gets soiled and all that, it'll blend right in. Okay, now for the final touches, we gotta clean these seats because, well, they're a little dirty and my dog's already tracked footprints across them. So anyway, got me this little spot cleaner, upholstery thing. So I have got the pet formula in there, but you can use whatever you want. Especially since I got dogs, I find that to be my one of choice, but yours may be different, and that's fine, whatever you like. And I'm going to just set that in the flow. And there we go, shampooed seats. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with how they look. Little spot right here. Yeah, if that's not showing up with the naked eye, it's only showing up on camera. I'll have to investigate what that is, but nonetheless, we're looking really, really good. And I have a little leftover solution to the back seat too. All right, so anyway, finish things up. I've brought the car over here into the sun. Rolled all the windows down good, just let the breeze blow through, dry it out some because the seats are a little damp. I took out my tush wet, just moving it over. But that'll also do it for this episode. I hope this helps some of y'all out. Like I said, this old car deserves some new seats, and I deserve to be comfortable when I drive it. So anyway, we did it on a budget. Caught some sales right, but even if I hadn't caught sales, we're under $100 here. So, till next time, be good to each other, take care of your projects. God bless you, and I hope to see you again soon.